Hello and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita, Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show today. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I missed you all, but I had such a good time. I was with my kids and my grandbabies and eating turkey, and it was wonderful. But I'm glad to be back to be with you. And I think we're going to have a great show today. We are going to be talking about herbs and supplements you can use to support you as we move into the winter season. Because for some reason, after Thanksgiving, the weather all turned around the country. You know, I went to school up in the Great Lakes area. I went to Oswego State, which was on Lake Ontario, and it would get lake effect snow, which meant the wind and whatever would come across the lake. It would pick up moisture and dump it on the town. And so having 13 feet of snow for the winter was not abnormal. So they were showing like rulers in the ground. I mean, I was watching the news and they're going, oh my God, there's 18 inches of snow. They didn't even close the schools for 18 inches of snow. They were so used to having record snowfall there every year. But for the rest of us who don't want to walk around with 2 down jackets on and a hat and a hood and gloves and boots and all of that stuff, you know, there are things we can do to support our immune system. Or if we feel like we maybe have a little something coming on, that we can do to support our health and support our immunity. And actually, many of the things that I'm going to talk about, you might already have at home. So to start, I'm going to start with this one. I just kind of have a funky list, really funky list today. So I remember, okay, so this is like totally old school. But one of the remedies that you can use is lemon. Lemon juice is high in vitamin C. It can reduce a cold or fever, and it can reduce any phlegm from any respiratory infection that might be going on. And I remember as a kid, if we were sick, my mom would take lemon juice and mix it with hot water and heat it up, and then sprinkle cinnamon on top and give that to us to drink, which actually wasn't all that terrible. But you know, there's a method to the madness, because cinnamon is also an herb that you can use if you're just feeling under the weather. It's an analgesic, which means it offers a certain amount of pain relief, but it also warms the blood. It stimulates blood flow. And so if you're feeling cold or chilly, you know, adding some cinnamon to what you're eating will help ward that off of you. You know, so again, some hot water with lemon juice and a little sprinkle of cinnamon on it works great. It's almost up there with chicken soup. You know, and another one that many people don't talk about, but if you're feeling chilly, you know, or have a cold, you can use cayenne pepper. So, you know, like that hot, spicy pepper that you might put in chili or, you know, some other kind of food. I mean, obviously they make this in a capsule, you know, so you can take a larger dose, but it doesn't mean that you can't sprinkle some cayenne pepper onto something that you're eating. Cayenne pepper is antimicrobial, which means it, you know, kills microbes in the body. It is known to help shorten a cold or flu. And again, it brings heat to the body. Another herb that many people have in their house, whether it's in a powdered form or in a fresh form, is ginger. Ginger is also antimicrobial. And one of the things that ginger is really good for, if you're kind of looking for that thing, is if you have nausea and vomiting. I mean, think about it. How often do you think about getting a glass of ginger ale if you have an upset stomach? And you go for the ginger ale, not 7-Up, but ginger ale, because it has the ginger in it and it helps calm the stomach down. Okay, so all right, so this is kind of a weird one, but it's a good one, and that's thyme. So when I think of thyme, and that's THYME, not the clock time, I think about roasting a chicken. I don't think about it for its herbal properties, but when talking about colds and flus, thyme is actually a great one. It is antimicrobial, so it'll kill microbes. It's antiviral, and it is recommended for respiratory infections and coughs. And actually, it can help the body sweat out a cold. And so you might be thinking, all right, so what am I going to do with that? Do I need to make a chicken to get some thyme in? But actually, the thyme or even the ginger, you can take it and add it to some boiling water and let it steep and make a tea out of it, and then sip on that. Think about it. You could add some cinnamon, which is going to warm the body, or you could add a little dash of cayenne pepper, again, which will warm the body. Both herbs that I would think every household would have. Another one is oregano, and so there are a lot of people that swear by, including myself, oregano oil, which is antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal. But it will sit there and help cut any infection that might be going on in the body. Okay, let's see. Okay. So this was a kind of funny one. So when I was kind of digging around for stuff to talk about, I found this like old school remedies. And one of the remedies they had was for dealing with pain. And the suggestion was drink whiskey. I don't know. I might be okay with that, but old school recipe. But another herb that many people have at home is peppermint. So peppermint by itself will reduce inflammation like swelling, especially swelling in the nasal cavities, especially if you breathe it in, and it also will soothe the throat. So making a cup of peppermint tea and then kind of smelling it, will help open up the sinus cavities. And as you sip it, it will help soothe the throat. And then one other one is chamomile. And I think most houses have like bags of chamomile tea, which is always a great go-to. But chamomile will relieve congestion from a cough and fever while it's promoting sleep. And many times when we're not feeling good, we're also not sleeping well. And so doing something to help the body rest and get the sleep that it needs is just very beneficial, so perhaps having some chamomile tea, is just very important when you're sick. And so all of these things that I'm talking about, obviously are things that you might have at home. They are things that you can get in the supermarket. Many of these things like the ginger and the chamomile and whatever come in like tea bags, and so you can just have some tea bags which will stay on the shelf for a really long time and just have it in the background. Another one is echinacea. So you can get the supplement echinacea, but there are also a lot of teas that are immune boosting teas that will have echinacea and perhaps other things in them as well. The same with elderberry. So elderberry, many people will give that to children because it is child safe and will boost their immune system. And so they often will work with elderberry by taking a little bit of it every day just to keep the system in peak performance. And, you know, one of the other things that I recommend for people to just have on hand is some zinc and vitamin C. So those aren't herbs, those are supplements. But those will also help the immune system, especially the vitamin C. You know, there are those emergencies. And I know when I'm not feeling well, you know, I'll take 2 emergencies a day, you know, one in the morning and one at night. But I'm really old school. You know, I have my old bottle of Vicks Vapor Rub. So if I'm getting any kind of a respiratory thing going on, I break out the Vicks. You know, and I bet if you look in your closet or in your medicine cabinet, there's an old bottle of Vicks sitting back there that you can just tap into and use to help make you feel better. But as I said, you know, as the winter is coming on and the cold and flu season is upon us, you know, having things at home handy for you to use to raise your immunity, help you get through any cold or flu that might be trying to get your attention. You know, and one of the things that I do, and one of the practices that I have, is that if I feel like I'm starting to get sick, so I don't wait until I'm sick. I'm like, okay, I have a scratchy throat, or you know, my sinuses are feeling a little funny. And so I'll do things in a more preventative way. In fact, earlier this week, I really wasn't feeling it's not that I wasn't feeling very well, but my head wasn't feeling real well. And so I took some echinacea, and by the next day, whatever was trying to come on, I knocked back out. And so being preventative about your health and your immunity is going to make it so that you can get through the winter without getting really sick and curling up on the sofa feeling like you're going to die. Anyway, so that's my thing for today. And before I roll over and say hi to people and start doing readings, you know, I just want to remind everyone that this show, I only do little baby mini readings. And so if there is something that is going on in your life that you need some guidance and some insights to, please reach out to me at my webpage, soulhealer.com, and schedule a private consultation. Also, if you know, while you're out and about, all right, I'm going to get that. You know, please follow me on social media. At Just Energy Radio on YouTube, Dr. Rita Live on Facebook, Psychic Doc on Rumble, Dr. Rita Louise on BitChute, and Dr. Rita Louise on Twitter. You know, and like and subscribe and do all of those things that you do on those different platforms. If you're listening to this show on Rumble, if you are listening to this on ERRT Radio, or you're listening to it in a pre-recorded form and you want to join the fun and get an on-air psychic reading from me, Dr. Rita Louise, please go to the easiest place. Okay, the easiest place to be able to interact is by going to YouTube and going to my YouTube channel, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. That's 3 words, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. And hit the live button at 7 p.m. Central and join the festivities. You know, and then just one last thing, I'm going to switch over. If you want to communicate with me, please do it in all capital letters so that I know that you are trying to talk to me and not just interacting with people in the chat room. You know, and I'm going to say this part out loud. You know, if you have a question that you want to ask, okay, not a question regarding like a reading kind of thing, but perhaps you want to know about an herb for a certain thing, or, you know, have a general question that would interest everyone. Please feel free to ask those questions, to post those questions, because I'll be more than happy to answer them. With that said, let's get the party started. Okay, so I'm just going to say hi to people. And when I get to somebody that wants a reading, I'm just going to stop and give them a reading and then just move on. Okay, so Master Player Radio and Television, hey, how's it going? ERRT Radio, where this show is being simulcast. Welcome. And he said, happy Thursday to you. So Don, who doesn't pay attention, well, no, that isn't all caps. Never mind, Don. Didn't say hi, but he wants a reading and he would like number 3. Okay, Don, number 3. You know, and for anybody that's just kind of sitting in the background and not saying anything, I don't know that you're there. And so you would need to say hi for me to say hi back. Just saying. All right, Don, so let's see. Ew. All right, that's your card for today. You know, Don, you have been on this really interesting and amazing adventure. And not that it's necessarily fun. I'm not saying it's been necessarily fun. But I feel like your energy, like you were in a kind of good place. And then, but like right now, you've kind of withdrawn your energy back. And the biggest comment that I want to make is that I'm feeling like you're not digging it. Like it's not where in the past it was a very comfortable place for you to be and a very comfortable position for you to be in. It's not anymore. And to me, that really is a sign of growth. So good job. And thanks for fighting the good fight because you are moving forward. Okay. So Don want to know, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I did. EER. You know, it would be easier if it was EERT radio. ERRT radio would like a reading, and he would like a number 3 as well. Okay. All right, and that's your card for today. So what I'm feeling for you is that you've kind of pulled your energy back again. I think it's interesting that you kind of go out into the world and then kind of come back to your soulful place. And I feel like you are moving back into that place. If I was going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 of you being really in the present moment with you being totally stuck in ego, I would say that you were about a 3. So it's pretty good, but I'm feeling like there is even more space for you to kind of ground into your body just that bit more. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Hi, Amy. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Christine. And she would like a reading number 3. Okay, Christine. All right, and that's your card for today. So, Christine, I get the impression that something's happened and you're kind of ruminating a bit about it. I mean, from the outside, it almost seems like a non-issue. Perhaps, okay, so I'm going to put this out there. Perhaps the question you should be asking instead of just kind of replaying thing is, what do I need to do now to end this cycle? Or what do I need to do now to resolve this thing? What do I need to do? Not what do they need to do, but what do I need to do? Do I need to just let it go? Do I need to say something? Do I need to walk away from this? Do I need to put this situation into purgatory and go into observer mode? But what do I need to do to resolve this for me so that I can regain my happiness? So I hope that makes sense. And again, if I do a reading for you and it's resonating with you, all right, hang on a second. I'm going to go over here. I would love it if you would put a little money in the tip jar. You can go to soulhealer.com/live, soulhealer.com/live. And there's a link where you can use straight PayPal, or you can use my shopping cart system. It's up to you, but I would love it if you would leave me a little something. I'd appreciate it. And if it does make sense to you, if you could leave me a little comment below that it makes sense and it's resonating with you, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so hi, Ricky. And it's Nina. Hi, Nina. Hi, Debbie. Hey, Joe. Nice to see you here. Amy said, we are all sick here already. Timely topic. You are so welcome. Hi, Mark. He said, moon pies sound yummy. Okay. So Mr. B and friends, hey, how's it going? Hi, Dave Perry. Nice to see you. All right, Master Player Radio and Television, number 2, please. Okay. Okay, let's see. So for people who haven't been to the show before, so when cards that look like this come up, they're called MASH cards. And they usually identify an issue or something going on that you're either in denial of, or that you are blocking the energy from what's going on. Ooh, you got a double trouble. And then not a great, ooh, Master Player. And then another one. Okay, I'm going to go with this. Okay, so I'm going to go with this card because you got yuck, not really much better, and more yuck to this card. The biggest thing that I'm getting is that you have a choice to make. And I feel like you're not really thrilled with the choice selections, even though you already know what the answer is, and you know which one is going to bring you growth. You know which one is going to be the healing one, but you're not really liking it. And, and sometimes we have to do things that we don't really like or don't really want to do in order for us to move forward. And the more we resist, the deeper it becomes entrenched into us, and then nothing works and nothing moves forward. But I feel like you already know what the decision is, so just move forward on that. All right, I'm gonna kind of bury these bad boys somewhere. That's just weird that they all came up one after another. And no, I didn't plan it that way. And I'm going to just mix these cards real quick. Okay. So Mr. B says, I'd rather drink Jack Daniels. I'm feeling you. And then Dave says, my mom used some of those when I was a kid. A lot of this stuff is very old school. And when you think about the things that your parents did when you were young, it was before they took you to the doctor and the emergency room for every single thing so you could get antibiotics and all of that stuff. So, and they worked. I mean, we're not dead, so that's good. ERRT Radio says, I like your shirt. Thank you. All right, Amy says, gonna take all these things out now and put them on the counter. Okay, you do that. Okay. Hey, Ohura. Yay, hooray. Finally, today I made it after many weeks. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ohura. Deborah Lane says magnesium, lavender, cinnamon together. Okay, that sounds like an interesting combination. Nashoba. Okay, I don't know that I'm saying that right. Thank you for coming to the show. You're definitely a new name, and thank you for finding it interesting. Okay. All right. So Ricky says, can you tell me anything that you see? Thank you. Okay, so you didn't give me a number. So I'm going to give you a number 2, Ricky. And let's just see. Let's just see what's coming up. Dang. What is with this? All right, you got this card too. Okay, so there was that card, and then I'm going to go with this card here. So it's interesting, Ricky. I feel like this energy, this kind of funky energy, is just working its way out of your space. I feel like, I don't know, the word that I want to use is that you're discharging right now. You've kind of decided to own your space and love yourself and honor yourself. And so I feel like even though you're not feeling 100%, I feel like you're over the hump and in the inner healing place, if that makes sense. I hope you, with what has been going on, have been observing and been mindful of what's happening, and use it as a lesson as you move forward, because I feel like the emotions that you were experiencing tend to get triggered, and it's the same button that gets pushed, and by acknowledging that button, you can work to heal it. So I hope that makes sense to you. Bury that one again too. All right, and again, if these readings are working for you, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. All right. Hey, Cindy, reading number 3. Yes, I can do that. Okay, number 3. All right, Cindy. Woohoo! That's your card, but right under it was that, but we're going to put that back. We're going to put that like back in the middle of the pile, Oh, no. I don't know what is with these cards. I can sit there at a fair and do reading after reading and a reading and rarely have one of those cards come up. But it seems like when I'm doing this show, they are constantly coming up, which is just really weird. Okay, so this is your card for today. Ooh. So, Cindy, it's like I am just sensing this feeling, and I'm going to say a peace around you, thus the yawn. I feel like, the stress and strain and trauma, at least of this cycle, has passed, and you are kind of in a healing place. I feel like your energy is very grounded, but I also feel like it's very aware right now and in observation mode and kind of taking everything in, which I think is great. So I don't know what happened, because I don't read that way, but I feel like whatever it was kind of a pivotal thing, and that it made like a deeper, more profound change in you that you're not even really aware of because you're just kind of living through it. But I feel like some decisions were made to love yourself, to do things differently that will move forward with you. So good, 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 good. Okay, so Ohora says, hello, Dr. Rita. I'm sorry I missed many weeks. Glad to see you. Would you please do a reading for me? Thank you very much. Number 3. Ohora, you know I would love to do a reading for you. Number 3. And I'm glad that you're joining us today. We didn't have a show last week, so you didn't miss anything then. So it's all good. Okay. Okay, so let's see. All right, and there's your card for today. So I feel like you are wanting to turn your creativity on. You're wanting to find things to, I'm going to say, bring you happiness. You know, I mean, to me, creativity equals happiness. You know, and I don't know if it's because, well, all right, I'm just going to get bottom line, you know, but I feel like there's a lot of judgment in there. Like, if I do this, it won't turn out that good. Or if I do this, it won't turn out good. And so I don't know if the not moving forward is caused by that. I mean, that's kind of my take on it. But I also feel like you haven't quite figured out what it is. You know, sometimes it's not really about figuring out what it is, but more about engaging in that process. You know, sometimes I suggest to people when they're feeling a little bit stuck, especially when they want to get their creativity going, is to do things like finger paint, you know, or color, you know, in an old time coloring book, not those meditation books, because I even get freaking anal about those, but something that just takes you back to kindergarten where it really doesn't matter if you make a mistake and it doesn't matter if you color outside of the line, you know, but it's just getting in that process, getting back in that flow will help the flow move along so that you can move on to bigger and better things. Okay? Okay. All right. And Amy would like a reading number 2, surely. Miss Amy. I hope everyone in your house feels better soon. Okay, and that's the card that came up for you today. So Amy, it is okay if you rest. It is okay that you do not solve all the world's problems today. I mean, I feel like you're feeling like you're under a lot of pressure right now. But it's kind of your own making, the pressure. And so maybe you can give yourself permission. Oops. Tomorrow's Friday. Take the day off. Take the weekend off. Let yourself have some R&R. Take some of those herbs. Recuperate. And don't beat yourself up for not doing whatever it is that you feel like you should be doing, because your body is asking for the rest. Okay? Maybe some chamomile tea. Okay. Dave says, hi, darling one. Hi, Dave. Hi, Marge. How are you doing? And Nina would like a reading number 3. Okay, Nina. All right. And this is the card that came up for you. So Nina, this is actually very cool. So some people call it like our spiritual council or whatever. I call it our different parts, but I feel like you have been very good at checking in with all of your parts and reconciling decisions and choices with all of your parts instead of just going in headstrong and going, well, this is what I'm going to do. You're bringing it into your heart center and going, okay, so how do I feel about this? And am I congruent with it? Are all of my parts congruent with it? And then taking that information and moving forward. And so, good job. That is a hard lesson to learn, to bring it in and move forward, but you're doing it. So, good job. Okay. Love you too, Don. Hi, Denise. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving and nice to see you here. All right. So Gary would like a reading number 2. Okay. Gary, number 2. Okay. And that's your card for today. So Gary, it's interesting, and I'm feeling like you're trying to figure out where to put your energy. I feel like there are some choices ahead of you. And maybe choices is not even the right word, because I'm not even feeling like there's something concrete enough about choices. I feel like you are more in contemplation mode of where I should put my energy. What should I be doing now? What should I be doing next? One of the things that I want to validate is that you're not jumping into anything. I feel like you are really working on keeping your ego out of this process and being open to allowing spirit to communicate with you. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to move forward. So I want to just validate you for that part. I feel like you have kind of gotten yourself stuck and like your butt hurt from doing things from a more ego kind of place. And so you're using this other method of kind of allowing spirit to drive. And I think it's good because we tend to be happier when we let spirit drive. Great. And then ERRT Radio says, thank you, Dr. Rita. Interesting read. Oh, you're so welcome. Heart's Voice. Hi, Heart's Voice. You're a new name. Welcome to the show. Gary likes my new hair. Thank you. It's really long right now. So, yeah. It'll be different no, I have an appointment on next Friday. So it'll be something next week, but then it'll be different. So Christine says, makes complete sense. Thanks. You are so welcome, Christine. All right, Nishoba would like a reading. What does the reading number mean? Okay, so Nishoba, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a reading for you, and I'm just going to do a 1 shuffle. And so the number means how many times I shuffle. And so the choice is 1 through 3, that I'll shuffle the cards 1 time, up to 3 times for you. But for you, I'm getting a 1, so you're going to get a 1. And I'm going to do your reading now because a lot of the times the show ends before you get a chance to loop around. So I hope that's okay, because you're going to get a reading right now. Okay, and that's your card for today. So, Nashoba, I don't know. I'm feeling like there's somebody that you're missing that you would like to communicate with, but haven't. So it's unclear to me if this person has passed or what this missing is. If you are able to communicate with them, well, no, because see, it's interesting because I'm like, well, if you can communicate with them, and I just feel sadness around it. So, kind of based on that, I'm feeling like either there's issues in the relationship or they're not here to communicate with. Um, but it doesn't mean that you can't, in your heart and in your mind, communicate with that person. So my husband passed away. It's going on 13 years now. I mean, it seems like freaking yesterday. And he'll show up and I talk to him. I mean, okay, I talk at him and he just sends me good vibes and I cry and it's a thing. It's a thing we do. But I feel very connected to him even though he's on the other side. And so maybe that's something that you can create in your own life so that you can feel that closeness, so that you can feel that connection that I feel like you're really missing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, Unar. Hey, how's it going? And you would like a number 3. Okay. Number three. This is your card. Bam. Your card for today. Whew. So I'm feeling like there is a sense of completion, a sense of finality to something that you've been working on. I feel like it has been, I don't want to say challenging, but there definitely has been some effort applied. And you're like reaping the benefits of it, not necessarily in a monetary way, although that could be, but in the sense of self-satisfaction, in the sense of completion and feeling good of conquering it. Like I've climbed the mountain and I can have those bragging rights now. Um, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to pat yourself on the back. Many times we do things and we finish projects and we go through all this effort and we don't take the time to congratulate ourselves or to pat ourselves on the back, and we just move on to something else and the next thing. So take the time and acknowledge the effort that you've made and the successes that you've had. Okay. So Gary says, what you want for Christmas? I want my 2 front teeth. Okay. Hi, Drusilla. Nice to see you. Oh, and you're so welcome. I thought that was an interesting topic for today. Okay. But see, Nashaba, I must be psychic because you said number 1, but I already gave you a number 1 before I even got to the, oh, I didn't have to click on it. Before I even got to the number 1. Ooh. Veronica, hey girl. What'd you do with Marco? Okay, number 3. Veronica. Three for Veronica. All right. All right, and that's your card for today. So Veronica, even though this seems really turbulent, the impression that I'm getting from it is that you're really kind of sick and tired of the bull. Um, I feel like you are, and I feel like in this moment, but also in general, that you have been looking at situations and how you can unwind yourself from that so that you don't get stuck in it. I mean, it's okay. I'm kind of going off on a weird tangent that's not even making sense to me. I mean, I just feel like you're tired. I feel like you are stopping and looking and investigating and pausing and purgatorying people and situations and taking your time before you make any decisions because you don't want this anymore. You're done. You're done. And sometimes you just have to be done to be done. And I think you're pretty close to being like done. Done, done, done. All right. All right. Ricky says, thanks. Oh, Veronica, I feel much better. And then Ricky says, yes, thank you so much. Cindy says, so accurate. Thank you, Dr. Rita. I appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too, Cindy. But all of you, you can leave me a little some in the tip jar, soulhealer.com/live. Just saying. All right. Okay. Ohora says, I hesitate a lot. Your reading was totally related, and thank you. Blessings and cheers to you. Well, blessings and cheers to you, Ohora. Oh, Ricky says, hibiscus tea is wonderful. Yes, it is. But a lot of people don't have hibiscus in their house, but I love that stuff. Love that stuff. Gary, I did a reading for you. Okay, Gary, I already did your reading. Hey, Deb Pickner. So Deb was at my Thanksgiving and she said the stuffing and the beans were the best. That's because I made them and they always rock every year. But the cherry pie, had me some cherry pie. So that was excellent. Okay. And so Amy says, thank you. Yep, can only fix me. Tip in the jar. You're awesome. Amy, you rock. And Amy, I want to thank you and anybody else that has left me a tip. I really appreciate you. It's very validating to me that, that you would do that, and it makes this time even more special for me to come. So, all right. Gary says, thank you for my reading. You helped me with the card reading. You are so welcome. Hi, Starseed. You're a new name here. Welcome. Mr. B says, always interesting listening to Dr. Rita. That's because I never know what I'm going to talk about. Nashaba says, your reading for me was amazing, Rita. I'm flabbergasted, actually. Well, thank you. And just think, I'm just talking to a computer. I don't even have like your real name. And so, and just think, if you scheduled a private consultation with me by going to soulhealer.com, it would be even better because it would be like in person and live. All right. I'm just saying. All right. Now I totally lost my spot. All right. So Unar says, yes, Rita, I accomplished something important today that I was worried about for a while. Right on. Thank you again. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming all the time. So thank you too. Veronica said, rock and Rita, spot on. Thanks, Veronica. And then Don says, I will donate a little more next month. Don, you do what you can do. You know what I mean? I just appreciate you guys supporting me, in a little coinage area. So, Okay, yeah. Free reading if you ask Darcy. Just give me a number 1 through 3, because that's how many times I will shuffle the cards and I will do a reading. I'm looking at the clock. There's 9 minutes left. So, all right. Debbie says, oh, that's just stuff. All right. Okay, I'm all the way at the end of the list here. So Starseed, if you would like a reading, ask now or forever hold your peace until next week, and then you can come back and join the fun here on Thursday Night Live with Dr. Rita Louise. Anyway, well, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to the end of the list. I had a great time, you guys. All right, I don't want to do that. Okay, so Starseed, I'm going to go through my little thing. You're not holding me up. I still have some more minutes. Master Player said, great show, Rita. Thank you, Master Player. So Ahura wants to know, what will you talk about next week? So Ahura, usually I figure out what I'm going to talk about on the show. So this I actually figured out yesterday, talking about the herbs I did yesterday. Sometimes I know in advance. A lot of times I wait for Spirit to say, this is what you need to talk about. And then that's what I talk about. So I never really am that plan oriented. Don says, I love being here and seeing you. Love you till next. Don, I'm just so glad that you come and hang out with us all the time. So thank you. Nashaba says, Rita is the real deal for sure. Thank you. ERRT Radio. Thank you, Dr. Rita. Great show. Ahura, cheers, love you. That's there. Then Amy says, thank you, super helpful. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm doing a show right after this, so I'm going to finish here, and then I'm going to be on a different show in about 20 minutes. So cutting out a little early will give me a chance to get up and move around and kind of pull my stuff together. So again, if there's things going on in your life, a personal issue, a relationship issue, a health-related issue, I'm a naturopathic physician, you're dealing with trauma, you need help in making a decision, please visit my website, soulhealer.com. It is loaded with articles, but you can also reach out to me and set up a time for a private consultation. Again, if you are listening to this show recorded and you want to join the fun, just go to Just Energy Radio on YouTube. That's Just Energy Radio on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central every Thursday night. Click the live button and join the chat. Yeah, I'll throw this one in. And if what I do interests you, I do offer a training program. You can find out information about it at AppliedEnergeticsInstitute.com. That's AppliedEnergeticsInstitute.com, where you can learn to become an energy medicine practitioner, an intuitive counselor, or a certified medical intuitive, all from the comfort of your home. Anyway, guys, so till next week, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. I will see you next time. Till then, be blessed.